The accumulation of wealth, or having all we need or want, can only be achieved by developing a mindset where smart spending is coupled with a drive to increase our income. Hi there, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for joining us for another edition of Jamaica Magazine. On the pages today, government's energy efficiency and conservation program is creating huge savings for the country. Plus, we learn the risks to heart diseases in a bid to stay healthy. Later, a glimpse at the North-South Highway construction just before the finishing touches. These and so much more are coming up, so stay with us.
The Aedes aegypti is one of several types of mosquitoes found here in Jamaica and elsewhere in the world. Know them. They are small, dark mosquitoes with white lyre-shaped markings and banded legs. The Aedes aegypti mosquito lives in and around places where people gather and breeds anywhere water settles, such as artificial containers in and around homes and other buildings. It's a vector that transmits the virus that causes a number of diseases, such as dengue, chickpea, and the Zika virus. Find them. Destroy them. Cover water containers to prevent mosquitoes getting inside. Dispose of garbage containers to prevent water settling in them. And frequently check and empty any container that water might settle to ensure these are kept dry, and scrub vessels clean to get rid of eggs. The Aedes aegypti mosquito. Don't give it a home.
The government spends billions of dollars on electricity each year. Too much as far as the administration is concerned. So the Energy Ministry has been leading a charge to cut the public sector's electricity consumption by using more efficient energy devices. As you'll see next, the plan is working.
Tackling high electricity consumption within the public sector. Government has set out to apply measures that have resulted in a significant reduction in the public sector's energy bill. Through its Energy Efficiency and Conservation Program EECP, three major areas were addressed. These include institutional strengthening, which provides operational support for the program, investments in EEC material through the retrofitting of lighting and air conditioning units, and application of cool roof solution and solar control film, and training and educating public sector workers about the EECP and the ways in which they can conserve electricity. The program started in November 2011 following an Energy Efficiency and Conservation Technical Assistance Report, which identified areas within the public sector that would benefit from energy efficiency opportunities. It projected that undertaking a large-scale retrofitting program in the public sector island-wide at a cost of $121 million could reduce the public sector energy consumption by as much as 25%, bearing in mind that the overall government electricity bill is approximately $14 billion per year.
They didn't have enough money to do the entire government sector, obviously. So what we did was what the report did. They looked at different sectors: health sector, education sector, security sector, public admin sector, and so on, street lighting, water commission. And they decided how to attack each sector by sector with the highest users within those sectors. And doing that, they said if we were to fund those programs, they could reduce the bill by about 5% instead of 25%.
And so implementation began with a $20 million loan from the Inter-American Development Bank. Approximately 60 government facilities were engaged.
The program as it stands so far has completed retrofits on 44 facilities around the country. And these are in solar control film and cool roof and some air conditioning work. We're doing roughly 12 facilities right now for air conditioning and retrofits, and we plan to do another 4 for next year.
The application of solar film and cool roof significantly reduces heat in the building, which results in less work being required of the air conditioning units. That combination has resulted in a reduction of over 1.7 million kilowatt hours as at September 2015. Further data showed an overall average monthly reduction of approximately 86,000 kilowatt-hours and a total annual reduction of over 2 million kilowatt-hours up to September 2015. This resulted in savings of approximately 81.5 million Jamaican dollars as of September 2015.
That is within what we're expecting. We're expecting somewhere between 2 to 3.5% reduction in energy consumption, and we've seen that. And coming from that $80 million, we see maybe about 60% of that has come from the cool roof and solar film so far.
One of the first beneficiaries of the program, the Jamaica Information Service, has seen a major reduction in its electricity bill. The agency has saved over $4.5 million.
We've been able to put a project team together and staff it with competent professionals who are helping to manage implementation of this project. What we're doing there is building capacity, not only in the ministry, but in the country at large, to take on energy conservation, efficiency and demand side management measures, and also to give oversight to energy audits and to provide guidance to other public sector officials and to the wider private sector on the standards to which we are doing the retrofits, the quality to which we are satisfied in terms of equipment that we are allowing to be imported into the country, the standards to which energy audits are to be done, the different various modalities or methodologies to do the actual financing for some of these retrofits, and ultimately what we'll do for the ministry in its ability to monitor and evaluate the results after these retrofits are made.
And to ensure the sustainability of the program, public sector workers were brought on board to promote the conservation of energy within their respective ministries and agencies. Close to 1,000 persons across government entities island-wide have participated in approximately 10 training sessions.
It's extremely important because once you install an AC unit or you change lights and so on, and if you don't have that coupled with what we call the awareness component, meaning that there is a behavioral component to the program, you could still see light bills go back up.
The public education is very important to make sure people understand why we're doing this, and should they start doing it themselves, not only in their offices but at their homes, in terms of their own individual actions. They understand why, and that will only help to maximize the benefit in terms of the retrofits and the benefits that you get from them.
An even greater benefit of the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Program is that the $1.4 billion oil import bill is expected to be reduced significantly. Savings of $20 million is projected under the targeted 5% reduction in government's electricity consumption.
We're getting support from the highest level of leadership, from the Prime Minister, who has been behind this project in terms of support for what we're doing. But I must single out the Minister Philip Paulwell. He challenges us to do even more than we're doing now, because we are all seized with opportunities and the tremendous benefit that the country is going to reap from all of what we're doing here. And to that extent, I want to just tell you that we have a very strong team, which is very committed, and we believe that we can lead Jamaica into the new energy paradigm.
Government, through the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Program, making the public sector an energy-conscious model for the rest of the society. Know your numbers and control the keys to a healthier heart. Know the numbers for your blood pressure, cholesterol level, blood glucose level, and your weight and body mass index. Find out the risks they represent and what you need to do to stay healthy. Talk to your doctor and start making healthy lifestyle choices to prevent a heart attack or stroke.
Non-communicable diseases such as heart attack and stroke are among the leading causes of death in Jamaica. The Health Ministry has been working to reduce those numbers by encouraging persons to know the risk factors and to avoid them. As you'll see in this next feature, it's all about engaging more healthy lifestyle practices.
We often associate the heart with emotions of joy and feelings of affection. Its image, even its pounding beat, has a firm link to expressions of love. But despite this much fondness, we have a tendency, without much thought, to put our hearts at risk of damage and as a result, our lives in danger. How? Simply through improper diet and inadequate physical activity.
The evidence is well established and well known that a balanced diet is among the behaviors crucial to a healthy heart and circulation system.
And based on a 2008 health and lifestyle survey, most Jamaicans are not eating enough fruits, vegetables, and peas and beans and are not as physically active as they should be.
The society has seemingly been taken with the bag juice, a love of processed and fast food with high salt, sugar, and fat content in these modern days. This is wreaking havoc on individuals' health and the resources of the health sector.
Having identified those factors believed to be contributing to the current trend in heart disease, the #1 cause of death in Jamaica and the Caribbean, we must take the steps to avoid the dangers. Steps that include proper portion sizes and making healthy food choices. The Ministry of Health, in partnership with non-government organizations such as the Heart Foundation of Jamaica, is encouraging healthy eating habits to reduce the incidences of heart disease.
We continue to recommend healthy food choices in schools and other public institutions and promote the consumption of a variety of fruits and vegetables daily and the reduction of salt and fats in your diet. 30 minutes of physical activity per day at least 3 times per week, and to make physical activity a part of your daily routine.
The ministry has also developed a manual on physical activity for the workplace to ensure that even while we work, we can enjoy the benefits of exercise. Eating just the required amount of nutrients has been proven to provide a healthy heart and circulatory system, while overindulging gives rise to cardiovascular diseases such as hypertension. And it's been found that heart disease is more common among people with hypertension or high blood pressure.
What hypertension does to the vessels we call arteries, which carry blood to the tissues. It causes a thickening of the wall of the arteries, the pulse we feel. The heart is getting bigger. It should require more blood, and it does. But at the same time, that pressure is also limiting the blood flow by causing hardening and narrowing of the vessels. So it's small wonder then there comes a time when the heart is going to be, its function is going to be seriously jeopardized.
Chronic kidney disease, another potential complication of hypertension, is also a contributor to the development of heart diseases. Since these diseases, which are common in adults, have been found to have their genesis in childhood years, eating healthy must start with our children.
If we can have an influence on our children with the intake and guide them on how they eat, we will start preventing generation after generation. A healthy child is one who eats fruits and vegetables.
To maintain good health, nutritionists recommend including items from all the food groups in our diets in the appropriate portions.
Challenge yourself. Don't eat processed food. Let's eat more natural, wholesome food, where sodium is extremely low and natural. Let us try and eat 1 packaged food a day, but let us incorporate an average of 5 servings of fruit and vegetables. A serving is just an orange, just a banana, maybe 2 cups of lettuce, or 1 cup of pumpkin, or a cup of callaloo. That's all that a serving is.
Nutritionists also recommend that we avoid fried foods and instead broil, oven roast, and steam. It is important also to limit sugary beverages and foods with added sugars. The daily recommended intake for sugar is 6 teaspoons for women and 9 teaspoons for men. As it relates to sodium or table salt, our body needs less than 1 gram per day, and that's less than half a teaspoon. Measuring the quantity of sugar, salt, and fats requires us to be vigilant, reading labels and taking note of their quantity in each serving. In seeking to help Jamaicans make the shift from current unhealthy eating habits, the Ministry of Health has moved to provide food-based dietary guidelines. The availability of these guidelines and practical use by each of us is expected to result in a healthier nation with less non-communicable diseases. We'd be avoiding early deaths from heart conditions. So let's live more and love more. Let's make our food or medicine for good hearts and good health.
If you not get it, you will lose. Make your food be your medicine, your food. Blend up your carrot with the lettuce in a juice.
The build-out of a modern highway in Jamaica has reached another milestone. You might have heard or seen that the north-south leg of Highway 2000 is now pretty much completed. We toured the road late last year, just before the contractors began putting on the finishing touches. As we prepare for the road's opening, take a look at how it got to this stage.
Like in every developed country, here in Jamaica, investments in highways are central to land use and development planning. Government's policy in this regard is to improve the wealth of the country by cutting travel time and spurring commerce, production, and economic growth with increased employment. Facilitating investment in the construction of Highway 2000 as a modern, efficient, and technologically advanced road network is doing just that.
Just think about, for example, we have 3 million visitors on the North Coast. If those 3 million visitors could come across to Kingston and enjoy what we have to offer on the southern coast of the highway, that could make a significant impact on Jamaica. Currently we are in excess of 1,600 people on the site. More than 1,000 Jamaicans and maybe approximately 600 expatriates, Chinese and other nationalities.
The Highway 2000 North-South Link is a public-private partnership project between the Government of Jamaica through the National Road Operating and Construction Company NROC and China Harbour Engineering Company CHEC.
NROC is the grantor of the concession to CHEC. So we have an agreement, which we call the concession agreement with CHEC, for the design, build, financing and operation of the highway. We are also responsible for acquiring all the land for the highway, relocating all the utilities for the highway, approving the designs for the highway, and monitoring the implementation of the construction.
NROC has set the pace for construction to proceed smoothly, ensuring that all the environmental, legal, and socio-economic factors are properly addressed.
Along the highway, we have had in excess of 350 parcels that we have had to acquire, and that included more than 150 houses, as we saw, large buildings, hardware establishments, shops along the highway. Everybody has been compensated and everybody has moved off voluntarily.
As part of the pre-feasibility process for the highway construction, NROC held meetings with all the communities along the route to hear their concerns and see to it that these were addressed. The country has been enjoying the benefits of Segment 2 of the highway since August 2014, and now construction of Segment 1 from Caymanas to Linstead and Segment 3 from Monique to Miami Bay inches closer to 100% completion. After delays to sort out some issues, work started in June 2015 on the final piece of the road alignment, about 4 kilometers by the Caymanas Golf Course and behind New Era housing scheme.
By realigning the highway in that area, we avoid an area which we call Moses Lake, which is a very flood-prone area behind Caymanas Bay. So that area has significant geotechnical challenges, and what the alignment does is to avoid all those challenges in that area. Right now, we're still expecting the highway, at least from Angels all the way to Ocho to be completed by the original time frame, which was the first quarter of 2016. The developer is looking at how he can accelerate the first 4 kilometers to finish within that time frame.
Section 3 from Monique to Miami Bay in Ocho Rios is most advanced.
We've actually started paving, which is almost the final phase of the highway construction. Here we have the mall base, and on top of the mall base we have 20 centimeters of concrete. The pavement consists of 20 centimeters of concrete and then 10 centimeters of asphalt on top of it. And here we have the first section of asphalt being placed along the highway. So as soon as the asphalt finishes, we're ready to white line.
The biggest part of the construction, that is the earthworks or cutting and filling for the base work, is complete. The bridges are also built and landscaping work is advancing.
We're finishing off the drainage, finishing off the landscaping, doing the marking of the highway, and then it will be completed.
Work is also progressing on 6 interchanges and toll plazas along the highway. These include the one at Angels, Linstead, Lidford, Unity Valley and Caymanas, and at K55 in the vicinity of Chalky Hill. Unlike the east-west corridor, the north-south corridor of Highway 2000 is what is called a closed highway. That means you have to go through a toll plaza in order to get onto the highway and go through a toll plaza in order to exit.
So when you get in onto the highway, you collect a tag, and when you get in off the highway, you give them the tag, and that computes how far you have traveled along the highway and how much toll that you'll need to pay. So you won't be going through toll plazas along the highway as you go along. Only time you'll go through a toll plaza is either at the end or at the beginning of your journey.
The Unity Valley interchange, in addition to a toll plaza, will boast a rest stop and service center. And some food vendors at Lakes Bend will also be able to occupy a number of vending facilities to be built by the highway developers. Several underpass access roads have been developed to allow residents to move from one side of the highway to the other. Other features of the highway include sound walls to minimize noise from the highway in surrounding communities. The North-South Highway, providing safe, efficient movement of people between the north and south coast to take advantage of opportunities in the various towns and communities.
A teacher in Portmore can get to Otrius as easy as going to Mona, to the University of West Indies. A nurse who lives in Portmore can easily come across to Otrius in the same time to take her to go from Portmore to Papine or to Mona University Hospital. So it's going to change the way people move and work in Jamaica.
Hi there, I'm Simone Wolf with your JIS News of the Week. For the second year running, Jamaica has been ranked the best place in the Caribbean to do business.
Forbes magazine has just released its ranking of best countries to do business. Jamaica has moved up to 59 from 64 last time.
Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller hailed the accomplishment as she opened Sutherland Global Services' New Kingston office. It was also revealed this week that Jamaica has improved its ranking on the 2015 Corruption Perception Index, moving from number 85 in 2014 to 69 out of 168 countries in 2015. Justice Minister Senator Mark Golding says it underscores the progress being made in combating corruption. On January 22, the Senate joined the House of Representatives in passing new legislation designed to reform electoral campaign financing. Justice Minister Senator Mark Golding says the Representation of the People Amendment Act seeks to bolster transparency and accountability of elected officials and reduce corruption and improper influence. On Wednesday, Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller launched the Jamaica Athletes Insurance Plan, which will begin providing group health, group life, and personal accident insurance coverage for eligible athletes in Jamaica as of February 1. The plan will provide coverage for 1,323 athletes, representing 28 national associations and federations.
Some of the services offered under the plan include basic health services, major medical, overseas medical emergencies, and maternity benefits, dental and optical.
We are calling out all retired public health inspectors who have retired in the last 2 years, those persons who are fit and healthy and can work. We're bringing them out for 3 months, first contract for 3 months, to come and say, help in this drive we have now.
That announcement came as the Health Ministry intensifies its preparations for the Zika virus. Food for the Poor also offered its assistance.
We do have foggers coming, we have a full container of paracetamols coming, and we have a container of repellent as well coming. And we'll work closely with the minister to improve and be at his beckon for whatever needs he has as he prepares the nation for Zik V and the other Vs that seem likely to come.
In the meantime, the Education Ministry has designated Friday, February 5 as a national cleanup day to reduce mosquito breeding in schools in light of the threat from the Zika virus. The public health sector benefited from several new pieces of equipment this week. Food for the Poor and J. Ray and Nephew teamed up to donate $57,000 worth of beds for hospitals across Jamaica. Meanwhile, the University Hospital of the West Indies received 1 blood gas analyzer machine and 3 advanced patient monitors from the Guardian Group. And the Friends of the Ulster Spring Hospital donated 2 fetal heart rate machines to the Cornwall Regional Hospital to significantly help with the monitoring of patients late in their pregnancy and during labor. The Energy Ministry has awarded the Jamaica Public Service Company with the 2016 electricity license, which will allow for significant changes in the sector.
What we have now are terms that will enable more investment, greater security, and for the country to benefit. The new license also recognizes the importance of change that has occurred over a number of years, and in particular, the role of renewable energy.
An eastbound off-ramp created on Highway 2000 near Old Harbour, St. Catherine was recently opened to the motoring public. Transport and Works Minister Dr. Omar Davies says it's reducing travel time between Maypen and Old Harbour and has made traveling less costly to students.
A large percentage of the students attending high schools in the Maypen Veer area are actually from Old Harbour. This reopening of the ramp is equally of importance to Maypen as it is to Old Harbour. And it's not just for business. And I stopped and spoke to all the motorists who are backed up. And it's a very important development for them, because otherwise they would have had to have avoided the toll road.
And finally, the Justice Ministry's Victim Services Division has received new service tools to help children who are victims of crime deal with the trauma that they have experienced.
It is part of a package of support that UNDP has been granting to the work of the Commission of Inquiry since 2014, which targeted 5 national institutions, including the Victims Services Division.
And those were some of the stories making news this week. I'm Simone Wolf.
You as parish managers, you as regional managers know your role to do your inventory now, to see what you have and to mobilize the country. Outreach with communities, outreach with civil societies, outreach with the churches. That is what we are going to do. We're going to call on every single Jamaican. Look around your house, search your environment, find this mosquito.
Join the fight. Eliminate the Aedes aegypti mosquito. Stop the spread of dengue and chikungunya. And keep Jamaica Zika free.
And that brings us to the end of today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. We value your feedback, so keep the link. Tell us what you thought of the show. Send an email to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm or hit us up on Twitter at JIS News. Also, click on our website, jis.gov.jm, for the very latest government information. Until next time, I'm Adrian Atkinson, reminding you to take care of your good health and make every day a productive one.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.